Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the implant bridge here. And before we begin, I want us to notice right here on tooth number 19. So if we take a look here, we can come right here and we can start to see that tooth number 19 actually has a pretty reasonable sized defect right here. And we can take a closer and better look at it by using our tilt tools here. And there we can really see how much bone loss has occurred around that root. So I just want to kind of give an idea diagnostically what we can see there. So let's go ahead and go to our implant bridge here. And before I move forward with making any adjustments here, what I do want to do is point out what I'm seeing here from the existing plan. So if we take a look, and let me pull up my drawing tools here, and here we can see this would probably represent our lingual, that would represent the buccal, and we can see here that both these implants right here and right there are well to the lingual. So my first guess is that our implants are placed entirely to the lingual. Now, if we could take a look here at the original planning, and it's irrelevant what kind of implants here, but nonetheless, what I do want to point out is let's look how thin that buccal plate is right here. There's not much going on, there's not much room there. I can tell you that this is very likely a recipe for disaster with this particular implant plan. So let's go through and work this and let's plan it. So the first thing I want to point out is let's take a look at our mesiodistal position. No problem, got plenty of space there. Let's go ahead and fast forward to our buccal lingual position. And as I mentioned earlier, we're way to the buccal. So let's go ahead and tilt this implant and move it to the lingual. Now what we can see is suddenly we have an implant that is centered in bone and has enough buccal plate around it and lingual plate to go ahead and support an implant. The next thing I want to point out is let's take a look here and see how this implant is opposing these teeth, the lower teeth this way. What I prefer is for this implant to oppose the lower teeth in this manner. So now we have slightly better occlusal forces. Now the bigger issue is going to be, can we place this implant in a position that allows us tooth number 12? So we may have to go back to number 12, adjust our plan there, and if we really take a closer look, our real issue here isn't number 12, but it's actually number 11 with how distalized that root is. For whatever reason, and that's really causing some trouble for us. So this may be a situation where we look at doing more implants and then doing a cantilever for number 12 so we can get the implants more parallel. But now we can see here our implant has better placement, and now we can come back and we can see that we're way to the lingual here. So what we can do here is we can tilt the implant some more, move it over, tilt, move it over, and now we've taken that implant that was way too to the deep, to the lingual. Now we've got it better centered occlusally. So now we can start to see, and now we can look at maybe possibly putting a normal size implant in there. But in our 360 view, what we're going to see is that we actually do penetrate into the sinus right there on the distal of the implant. So maybe depending on the comfort level, we'll go with the shorter implant. I'm certainly not advocating a shorter implant as a possibility here. So the next step is to go ahead and take this other bridge abutment. Let's go ahead and parallel it by clicking change implant. We're going to parallel this to number 12. Sorry, we're going to parallel it to number 14, and I did not notice that, but these implants are labeled incorrectly. This is actually number 13, so we can go to change implant, call that number 13. I just like to have everything labeled correctly. And now with this implant, now that we've gotten a parallel, we can start to see how we're going to do that. We have enough room there buccally versus whereas we didn't before. So hopefully this is helpful. Our bigger question here is, can we place this implant inside number 13? And restoratively, to be able to determine this, it would be best to have the CEREC data, but hopefully this has been very helpful for us. Thank you very much.